8, 7.
Guess what?
Some Egyptian tombs were robbed before the pharaoh's body was even cold. It's 1922 and we're in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. A young and ambitious archaeologist named Howard Carter was on a relentless hunt for a lost pharaoh. Everyone around him thought he was crazy, chasing a myth, but Carter had a hunch that he just couldn't shake. Then boom! One fateful day he stumbles upon a set of steps hidden beneath the sand, a discovery that would change history. This wasn't just any discovery, it was the entrance to the tomb of Tutankhamun, the legendary boy king who ruled Egypt. Now, here's the crazy part. Tutankhamun's tomb was practically untouched, filled with gold, jewels, and treasures beyond your wildest dreams. It was like a time capsule from over 3,000 years ago, perfectly preserved through the ages. But hold up, this got Carter thinking. If tomb robbing was all the rage in ancient Egypt, how come Tut's tomb was still jam-packed with goodies? Turns out, even in ancient times, tomb robbing was like a game of cat and mouse, with thieves always on the prowl. The pharaohs and their architects were always trying to outsmart the thieves, creating elaborate traps and hidden chambers, and sometimes, just sometimes, they succeeded. Stick around and I'll let you in on all the juicy details of this ancient crime wave, the strategies employed by both the robbers and the rulers, and how Carter's discovery shed light on this fascinating aspect of history. Imagine the craftsmanship, the intricate designs, and the sheer amount of wealth that was buried with these pharaohs. It was a demonstration of their power and their belief in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that these treasures would accompany the pharaohs into the afterlife, ensuring their comfort and status in the world beyond. Carter and his team had to be incredibly careful as they excavated the tomb, preserving the artifacts and the history they represented. Today, modern archaeologists continue to study these artifacts, using advanced technology to uncover even more secrets about Tutankhamun and his time. The Valley of the Kings remains one of the most important archaeological sites in the world, a place where history and mystery intertwine. Carter's meticulous notes and journals provide a glimpse into the past, an inside look into the challenges and triumphs of his groundbreaking discovery. According to the narrative, the construction of these tombs, involving thousands of workers and years of labor, was all to ensure the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. All of this information comes from the fine folks of the Smithsonian Institute, the omniscient and supreme rulers of everything history that we are expected to believe, so in my opinion it could all be lies. But here goes. So, as the sun sets over the Valley of the Kings, we are reminded of the timeless allure of ancient Egypt and the enduring quest to unlock its secrets. Let's rewind to ancient Egypt, where life revolved around the afterlife. Egyptians believed that to enjoy the good life after death, you needed to be buried with all your swag, gold, food, furniture, the whole shebang. Naturally, this attracted some unwanted attention tomb robbers. Working with clockwork precision after sunset, these sophisticated gangs turned tomb robbing into ancient Egypt's shadow industry. They knew the burial grounds like the back of their hands and were experts at breaking and entering ancient Egyptian style. Tomb robbing wasn't a fringe activity. It was a widespread problem. Even the authorities were in on it sometimes. Corrupt officials, guards, you name it. They turned a blind eye or even helped themselves to the loot. It was a shady business and everyone was looking to cash in. Sound familiar? So how did these ancient tomb raiders pull off their heists? Well, they had their tricks. Following the mainstream narrative, their tools were basic copper chisels, hammers, picks, but effective nonetheless. They'd often target tombs after sandstorms, using the cover of the storm to hide their tracks and the shifting sands to expose hidden entrances. Once they were in, they'd make a beeline for the good stuff. Gold masks, jewelry, anything they could get their hands on. They were like ancient ninjas, swift and silent, in and out before anyone knew what hit them. And they didn't always play fair. Sometimes they'd pose as priests or mourners, blending in with genuine visitors to avoid suspicion. Talk about sneaky. Supposedly, these guys were the ultimate con artists of their time, always finding new ways to outsmart the system and make off with the loot. Now let's talk about some legendary heists. Tutankhamun's tomb was a lucky break because it was largely untouched. But most tombs weren't so lucky. Take the tomb of Susenes I. This pharaoh had a burial mask made of pure gold. Can you guess what happened? You got it. Ganked. Looted long before archaeologists ever got there. We only know about these robberies from ancient graffiti and official records. Imagine detectives dusting for fingerprints. That's what archaeologists do, but instead of fingerprints, they're looking for clues left behind by the robbers themselves. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, piecing together the evidence to understand how these ancient heists went down. And you know what? Sometimes they even find the stash of stolen goods, hidden away in secret chambers or buried in the desert sands. It's literally finding buried treasure. You might be thinking, why rob tombs? Isn't it bad luck to mess with the dead, or even get you cursed? To the ancient Egyptians, the afterlife was serious business, and people believed that the dead needed their riches to navigate the underworld. But for the robbers, it was all about the Benjamins, or should I say the Deben. Gold and precious metals were like ancient currency, and a successful tomb raid could set you up for life. Imagine finding a stash of gold today. That's what it was like for these guys. It was a way to bypass the system, get rich quick, and live the high life. Of course, not everyone who handled stolen goods was a hardened criminal. Some people were just trying to make ends meet, buying and selling these artifacts without knowing their true origins. It was a complex web of supply and demand, with tomb robbing fueling a thriving black market in ancient Egypt. The tombs were often filled with not just gold, but also with items of daily use, like pottery, tools, and even food offerings meant to sustain the deceased in the afterlife. These items were valuable not just for their material worth, but also for their craftsmanship and historical significance. The artisans who created these items were highly skilled, some would even argue technologically advanced, and their work was highly prized. Tomb robbers often had to navigate complex and dangerous passageways to reach the treasures. Many tombs were equipped with traps and curses meant to deter would-be thieves. For me, the possible curses would be deterrent enough, much less the pit of vipers or whatever kind of traps they might have set. Priests would perform rituals and cast spells to protect the tombs from desecration. Despite these precautions, tomb robbing was a persistent problem, and laws were enacted to punish those caught in the act. Punishments could be severe, ranging from fines to death sentences. Yet the potential rewards often outweighed the risks for many. Today, some archaeologists work tirelessly to uncover and preserve these ancient treasures, ensuring that the legacy of ancient Egypt is not lost to time or greed. In my opinion, some do not. The centuries-long pillaging of Egypt's tombs stands as a dark reminder of how far humans will venture when tempted by legendary riches. So the next time you see an ancient artifact, remember the complex history behind it and the many hands it may have passed through. Each piece tells a story, not just of the past, but of the people who sought to possess it, for better or worse. The Egyptians weren't just going to sit back and let their precious afterlife treasures get looted. Oh no, they fought back. They came up with all kinds of clever traps and security measures to protect the tombs. Think Indiana Jones-style booby traps, false doors, hidden chambers, even entire passages designed to lead robbers astray. And I like to imagine the deadly pit of vipers too. They'd carve inscriptions on the walls, warning of curses and misfortune for anyone who dared to disturb the eternal slumber of the deceased. They even posted guards at the tombs, like ancient security detail. These guys were tasked with protecting the burial grounds and apprehending any would-be thieves. It was a constant battle of wits, with the Egyptians trying to stay one step ahead of the tomb raiders. If you were caught tomb robbing in ancient Egypt, you were in for a world of hurt. Justice was swift and often brutal. We're talking about punishments like beatings, mutilation, or even being impaled alive. Yeah, they didn't mess around. These punishments weren't just about revenge. They were meant to deter future thieves and protect the sanctity of the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that disturbing the dead was a serious offense against the gods, and they weren't afraid to hand down some divine justice. Court records from ancient Egypt tell tales of captured tomb robbers confessing their crimes and begging for mercy. It seems to me that in a society obsessed with the afterlife, this type of crime most definitely didn't pay. Tomb robbing might seem like a thing of the past, but its legacy lives on. The practice dates back thousands of years, with tombs being plundered almost as soon as they were sealed. These ancient robbers were often driven by the promise of wealth, risking their lives to unearth treasures buried with the dead. Many of the artifacts we marvel at in museums today were looted from tombs centuries ago. These items, ranging from intricate jewelry to grand statues, were often taken without regard for their cultural significance. They were sold to collectors and museums around the world, creating a complex legacy of both admiration and controversy. It highlights the dark side of archaeology and the importance of preserving cultural heritage. The looting of tombs not only deprived ancient cultures of their heritage, but also destroyed valuable historical context. Today, archaeologists try to piece together these lost histories, often working with fragmented information. These days, according to the Smithsonian, archaeologists are working hard to excavate and document tombs ethically, using modern technology to unravel the mysteries of the past without disturbing the peace of the dead. Tools like ground-penetrating radar and drones allow for non-invasive exploration when permitted, preserving the integrity of these ancient sites. The focus has shifted from treasure hunting to understanding ancient cultures and preserving their legacy for future generations. Modern archaeology emphasizes the importance of context, as long as it fits the narrative, ensuring that artifacts are studied and displayed in ways that honor their origins and the people who created them. Or sometimes, as I've found, some artifacts find their way into the hands of those history-preserving folks at the Smithsonian Institute, only to vanish and then their existence denied. It's a story of greed, ingenuity, and the enduring allure of ancient treasures, but it's also a story of rediscovery, preservation, and respect or disrespect for the past. As we continue to uncover the secrets of ancient civilizations, we should remember to honor their legacies and learn from their histories. Museums today play a crucial role in this mission, offering educational programs and interactive exhibits that, in my opinion, help maintain control over the mainstream historical narratives and how we are supposed to view them. But they are also wonderful places that allow us to view aspects of history firsthand. By attempting to understand the complex history of these artifacts, we can better appreciate their true value, not just as treasures, but as windows into the lives and beliefs of those who came before us. The legacy of tomb robbing is a reminder of our responsibility to protect and honor the cultural heritage that enriches our realm. Want to uncover more hidden histories and ancient mysteries? Subscribe to the Uncovered Enigmas channel for more mind-blowing stories from the past. Peace.